Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video, and welcome as always to my news roundup video. Today it will be mainly surrounding the transfer window, not just players coming in though. Today we're also going to be discussing some potential exits, and there are some worrying headlines surrounding both of our current first choice centre backs, Gerard Piqué and also Samuel Umtiti. So we're going to be talking about that in some detail in today's video. Obviously Coutinho is on the agenda, and also some news today breaking on Antoine Griezmann. So lots to get through in today's transfer news video. Sit back, relax and enjoy. Now I'm going to kick straight off and bring you a story that Mundo Deportivo ran just this morning, and it does relate to Thiago Alcantara, and I just want to bring you this story because I just think here they're playing with our emotions. They actually broke a story that said Barcelona have been speaking with Thiago's entourage, and that was all it was. There was no further meetings, there was no real in-depth discussions. Mundo Deportivo simply came out and said a few initial talks had taken place, but I just really don't understand this story. I think what we need to do is cast this one aside, simply because if we're going to be spending the majority of our budget on Coutinho, which, as we're going to go on in this video, looks extremely likely now, and also perhaps Griezmann, again, I'm going to come on to that, going for Thiago, going for a player, as much as I'd love us to do it, it just seems very, very unlikely right now. We seem to be going for the players like Coutinho, like Griezmann, and not sort of controlling midfield players like Thiago, players who are going to improve our midfield. Obviously, I would love us to go out there and get somebody like Thiago himself, but I just think that story from Mundo Deportivo for me just doesn't really seem to be anywhere near the mark. It's not going to happen, sadly. And now I want to move on to what I mentioned at the start of the video, our centre-backs. And I'm going to start with Gerard Piqué. This is a story that's been breaking over the last few hours, and it all revolves around Twitter. Obviously, a lot of things go on right now on social media, a lot of players getting involved on there, and it can be quite a dangerous tool sometimes. Now, Gerard Piqué has liked a tweet in which it basically said, from a source in Spain, that his contract renewal at the moment with the club might be in doubt because his contract at the moment, which expires in 2019, could be his last contract as a Barcelona player. After that, the source said he may choose to spend his time in the United States to join up with Shakira, who also obviously is spending a lot of time there right now. He wants to move to America, and for that reason, in the tweet that he liked, it basically said that he might not actually sign a contract renewal at Barcelona. Now, I said his contract expires in the summer of 2019, so not this summer, but next summer. By then, he'll be 32 years old, and I have to admit, even though it hurts to say it, I think Piqué, this could be about true, because I never really saw Piqué as a player that was going to play well into his 30s, you know, 35, 36, like Puyol perhaps, even though Puyol only retired because he was hampered by injuries. Piqué for me is a slightly different character. He's an unbelievable defender, he's been an unbelievable servant for our club, and I can certainly see him in the future being involved in the club in other ways, you know, in the presidential box perhaps, in the director of football kind of area. That's where you want to see Gerard Piqué in the future, and he also has a lot of other business ventures. You know, he started a video game, he's doing his interviews at the moment with famous players, he's got a lot of things going on, not just in football. He's a very, very intelligent man, so I don't really see him playing until he's 35, 36, maybe he will sign a new deal, but I just think that could be about right. He has obviously got to focus on Shakira, his personal life is very important, he's got children. I could actually see him, as much as it hurts to say, at the age of 32, maybe he could move on. But obviously, this is all just speculation. He could well sign a new deal, and I'm sure we'd all be very, very happy about it. But right now, as it is, his future is uncertain. Another man who we've had a few worrying headlines about of late is Samuel Umtiti, and there's a particularly worrying headline this morning coming out of French paper L'Equipe, who are actually a very, very reliable source in France. Of course, Umtiti, French international, so you kind of thought they'd know what they were talking about. And their big headline said, Manchester City are ready to pay Samuel Umtiti's €60 million release clause. They've approached the player, he may join, they want him, Guardiola wants him in his team, Man City could get their hands on Samuel Umtiti. That was basically what the report said. If you go through that report though, and it has been picked up on by quite a few people, they actually quote The Sun in the UK as their main source behind the story. Sun originally broke the story that Man United and Man City could both pay the release clause, and for me, in that L'Equipe article, there wasn't a lot more information than that. The Sun in the UK, a very, very unreliable source. I would not trust them with a single thing, so I don't think that story has a lot of weight behind it. I would still be very, very confident that right now Umtiti's going to remain at Barcelona. We need to renew his contract as soon as possible. That needs to be done. You know, we need to be raising that release clause like we mentioned a few days ago in the video, but right now at the moment he is happy. Mundo Deportivo came out earlier today with a sort of counter article to L'Equipe's story. They said that Umtiti is happy at Barca, he wants to continue here, and in his mind absolutely nothing has changed. So that'll keep story a little bit worrying at first glance, but if you read into it in a bit more detail, there's not too much to worry about there. There's nothing new. Umtiti's still a Barca player. We need to renew him, but in the immediate future, there is no concern. Now on to Arthur. Something very, very quick on him. There hasn't been hardly any developments over the past few days on Arthur, and that's exactly basically what is happening. Right now, we're focusing all our efforts on Felipe Coutinho. We're not considering any other players, unfortunately. Arthur is going completely under the radar, and according to reports, Gremio are holding out for the full €50 million fee. That's his release clause. Gremio do not want to sell him for €1 less than that, and that is what they want, €50 million. If we go for Coutinho, if we spend all that money on him, obviously with the non-EU spots we have a problem as well, and also in the funds. It's going to be expensive. We might not have enough for Arthur. He could be a player this winter that we do miss out on, and as of yet, nothing further on the Arthur situation. And now on to Felipe Coutinho himself. Obviously, throughout the day, loads and loads of reports on Coutinho, loads of different sources commenting on the story in Spain and England. Everywhere you go, people are talking about Coutinho coming to Barca. Right now, though, the transfer for me looks closer than it ever has been before. According to reports in the UK, Liverpool have completely given up hope of keeping hold of Coutinho. At the start of the window, they were sort of thinking maybe we can offer him a new deal, maybe we can give him lots of incentive to stay at Liverpool. That is not going to happen. Liverpool right now have completely admitted defeat. They believe that he's going to go. They understand that he might have played his last ever game for Liverpool, and the deal, like I say, is very, very close indeed. In the Spanish press, they're very, very confident. They've linked Coutinho to the number 7 shirt currently occupied by Arda Turan. Coutinho could join. We could give him the number 7 and give Arda Turan a different number if he stays at the club. There's also reports in Spain that say Bartomeu could actually go to England himself and close the deal personally with the representatives of Liverpool in the UK. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the next few days. €150 million reportedly is still the figure that's being mentioned for the fee, but Coutinho right now very much close to becoming a Barcelona player. We've heard it a lot of times before. We're going to have to wait until it's official, but it is looking more and more positive if you want Coutinho at Barcelona. It looks like it's going to happen. And finally, on to Antoine Griezmann. In Spain also today, there have been a lot of reports linking Griezmann once again to Barca, and a very reliable source, Cat Radio, came out earlier on today to basically say that Griezmann would be a player of Barcelona come the summer transfer window. They were very, very clear indeed with their report on Griezmann. They said that he will be a Barcelona player. €100 million will be the fee. And I just got a question for you guys, one that I want you all to sort of take part in, get involved in the comments down below. If we signed Coutinho and Griezmann, how exactly is all this going to fit together? And I had a discussion earlier on Twitter about something very, very similar indeed, because obviously on paper, Coutinho and Antoine Griezmann are phenomenal players, world-class players. Going into any team in the world, they would be a fantastic fit. But I just look at this team right now. Obviously Suarez is getting on, but I still think he can serve a purpose in this team. Coutinho isn't really a controlling player in midfield. He's a lot more creative than that. So clearly we're buying two players here potentially who are very creative, can score goals, can create goals. But I just wonder, is the emphasis once again in this team shifting away from the midfield? We've known that Valverde has come in here. He bases his team around midfield. He wants control. But looking at our signings, Coutinho, Griezmann, are we once again going back to the days maybe under Luis Enrique of signing a lot of attacking talent, a lot of players who can play a lot further forward and have a real effect on that? And are we going to be getting the ball to them as quickly as possibly can to sort of overload teams in that attacking area? Because I just wonder, looking at these signings, these Galactico-type signings, very expensive, very big fees, obviously high-profile names, are we once again going down the road of buying stars, getting as many goals as possible and not really worrying about anything else? And I'm just interested to hear your thoughts. I know there's going to be contrasting opinions on this, and this isn't me moaning about the Coutinho signing or the potential Griezmann signing. I'll be happy to have any player at Barcelona of that kind of quality, but I'm just wondering about our direction here. Are we straying once again away from that midfield philosophy, the philosophy of 4-3-3? Are we going to see us changing formations, something that's been in our history now for many, many years? Are we going to start going away from that and potentially turning into a different kind of side? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. That's a topic of conversation among many of us at the moment about where exactly we're going with these signings. Where exactly are all these players going to fit into our team? World-class talents, but it's just merging them all together. You can sometimes have too many high-profile players, as we've seen many times in the past when Real Madrid have spent millions and millions and millions on bringing the very best to their club, but it's difficult sometimes to get them all together, to mould them all and get them all playing effectively. So leave me your thoughts down below, guys. I will see you very, very soon whenever there are more updates on Barca, of course. Until then, though, as always, Vasca el Barça! Barça!